Today on Monkey Life, Alison comes up with a plan to collect Dodger, a capuchin monkey in desperate need of rehoming, whose recently widowed owner can no longer look after him.
Jeremy and I will go at crack of dawn. Sorry for short notice.
No, that's fine.
There's a surprise revelation during a health check on a recent arrival.
Is he a boy?
It's a girl.
There's no testis. I think it's a girl.
And is this camera chimp-proof? Let's find out. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I can't keep her in, get in. Okay.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. The park is home to 72 capuchin monkeys, the majority rescued from a Chilean laboratory, and others victims of the British pet trade. Two recent arrivals came from a zoo in Wales, which was forced to rehome some of its animals. However, only 2 pet trade capuchins have been taken in since 2004. They were Gizmo and, more recently, Chuck. But today, Alison has received a phone message from a woman recently widowed and desperate to rehome a family pet of many years.
Dodger, the capuchin monkey, is a 27-year-old male, and now that the lady's husband has passed, she really doesn't know how to look after Dodger because it was sort of his thing, and Dodger has been escaping the last 2 days.
Before Alison can offer to take the capuchin, she needs more information, so puts in a call to owner Tracy.
Hello?
Hi, is this Tracy?
Speaking.
Hi, Tracy, it's Alison calling from Monkey World.
Oh, hello there, Alison.
How are you doing?
Okay, under the circumstances.
Yeah, really sorry. I understand that your husband's passed away.
Yeah, he did just over 2 months ago.
Ugh, really sorry about that. It's really not an easy time.
No.
Okay, and I understand that you've got one other man in your life named Dodger.
Yeah, he's gorgeous. Yeah, he's 27, and we've had him from probably just under a year old. He was an RSPCA rescue.
Tracy and her late husband already had 3 capuchins, and when the RSPCA were looking for a home for Dodger more than 25 years ago, they agreed to help. But now, he's the only one left. Armed with photos sent by Tracy, Alison sits down with head of section Donna to see if there's a way they can rehome him at the park.
He's got quite a story because he's lived in this lady's back garden.
Oh.
RSPCA confiscated Dodger and another capuchin monkey from somewhere. Dodger's companion was apparently aggressive and actually bit the man, and they organized for Dodger's companion to go to a zoo someplace else, and they kept Dodger. And then the 3 monkeys went on to have 1 baby that was female, so they took that baby and put with Dodger. So for 10 years, Dodger lived with a female capuchin monkey.
Right. He's big.
Donna's impressed with Dodger, but offering him a home is a big decision, with knock-on effects for the capuchin team and their charges. The recent arrival of capuchins Matty and Louis from Wales, plus the birth of marmoset twins, means the already tight space in the small monkey houses is being pushed to the limit. But both Alison and Donna want to find a way to help.
I feel that something needs to be done for Dodger, because if he's getting out of the cage and the lady can't cope with keeping him, then, I mean, yeah. I feel like we need to step up and try and do something for him.
Matty and Louis are currently living in a temporary home at one of the marmoset houses. One option, once they've passed a health check and are free from parasites, is to move them elsewhere in the park to make room for Dodger.
I'm prepared to go with you. At least we're on the same page about...
Yeah. Just giving him some time on his own first, yeah.
The decision is made. Now Alison wants to collect Dodger as soon as possible to allow time for his health checks, introductions to new companions, and for him to settle into a group before winter comes.
If we bring him back Wednesday, so Jeremy and I will go at crack of dawn, talk to the lady, see the setup. Sorry for short notice.
No, that's fine.
Donna and the Capuchin team will have their work cut out to organise Dodger's new home in time for his arrival at the park. It's less than a month since marmosets Marge and Bart had twins, one of the reasons pressure has increased. The marmoset section is full to bursting. The youngsters are doing well, are super confident and showing interest in the world around them.
Quite exciting day because we've actually started seeing the babies come off of the parents and start make their own few steps around the branches.
But although it's great to see them demonstrating some independence at such a young age, it's also a little concerning for the team.
When they're on their parents, they can grab hold of their hair, the parents are kind of aware of them and kind of compensate if they feel like they're wobbling a little bit. Whereas if they're just on a branch, it's static, there's not really anything to hold on to, and if they go to slip, there's no one there to save them. So we're just going to keep a very close eye on them, and if we need to, we can deep litter the floor and protect them a bit more that way. I think for the parents, it's quite nice when they get off for a little few minutes, give them a break, gives them a chance to have a shakedown, a bit of a groom, and then they go back and get them and pick them back up again. Bart is a really attentive dad. He's one of the best dads I've ever seen, and he's very, very focused on the kids, and he won't leave them very long, and he won't go very far away from them, even if they are off him.
In the wild, marmosets usually have twins, sometimes triplets, and even quads.
Generally, when there's one or two babies born to marmosets, they're much more likely to survive and they're much more likely to thrive. A lot of the marmosets here at the park haven't had the good fortune of being raised by their parents. They've been taken away at a young age and they've been hand-reared by people. And that's where we see a lot of problems when they then come to us. They don't know how to be marmosets properly, they don't know how to communicate properly. Whereas these guys, they'll grow up with their parents, they'll learn exactly what it is to be a marmoset, everything about that, communication, good food, how to climb, and it's just a really good start for them. It's the best start they could have.
Marge was already pregnant, and unfortunately, having paired with Bart, she's ousted Maggie from the group. It's another component of the complicated matrix the care team are doing their best to solve.
We have tried her with Loki, who is our resident bachelor. He doesn't particularly like other marmosets, but we thought a nice young female, maybe he'll change her mind. Put her in the enclosure opposite, and it was quite apparent that he didn't like her. So we've still come up with some plans and some future ideas for Maggie. We've got a few options to go through, so we're sure it won't be long before she has her own friend.
In the meantime, Marge and Bart are still sorting out childcare.
They were on Bart, the dad, and it was baby crying, so it probably wanted some milk. So Marge has just come over and taken it, and now Bart wants it back. Bart doesn't like giving up the babies very easily.
In the wild, marmoset dads and older siblings do much of the carrying and care of babies, and Bart is shouldering responsibility for his family.
If we hadn't rescued them when they did, they would have given birth in the pet trade, and who knows where they would have ended up. So we're just happy that even though we said yes to 3 and ended up with 5, we're happy that they're here and they're safe.
Across the park, breakfast time at the chimp enclosures is normally a noisy affair. The morning release allows the groups to let off a bit of steam as they head out in search of food scattered around by the care team. But this morning, Hananya's group of 18 are a bit subdued. The first item on today's breakfast menu is whole red onions, and it's not been met with much enthusiasm. There is something more exciting on the way, but the chimps don't know that yet. However, there is something new in the enclosure the team hope won't grab their attention too soon. A new and hopefully chimp-proof camera has been installed on one of the poles attached to the climbing frame. It's been designed to capture the chimp's day-to-day life from a unique, never-seen-before angle. But chimps don't miss much, and, without anything else to distract them, the metal box is spotted. Evelyn is the first to notice and makes a cautious approach to check it out. Followed by Cookie. Arthur, always enthusiastic but not the brightest chimp, puts on a bit of a display. Which grabs the attention of young Thelma, who comes in for a close-up. Next, it's Shamak's turn. Still carrying his onion breakfast, he tests the extra strong casing. But it's dominant female Johnny who flexes her muscles to assess just how chimp-proof the camera really is, giving it a thorough going over. Chimpanzees are immensely strong and can be pretty destructive, but the camera is standing up to every attempt to remove it from the pole. Even Jess trying to bite it free using her strong jaw and teeth. Leader Hananya comes across to see what all the fuss is about. But something else is about to divert the group's attention. The first maize of the season has been cut, and some of the stalks, with cobs still attached, are heading their way. They've been donated by a local farmer. The camera is forgotten. The chimps haven't had this healthy treat for almost 9 months. Watching from above, they hoot with excitement. The maize is thrown into the enclosure from 3 different locations to give everyone a chance to grab their share. No one should miss out. Even low-rankers, like female Honey, can get stuck in. She heads up high with her bundle in a bid to secure it from anyone else. All the chimps have their own technique to devour the maize. Kiki likes to strip the stalks and eat the nutritious flesh underneath. While others, like Zeynep, prefer to eat the cobs first. Leader Hananya, however, uses the maize stalks in a display before heading off on patrol. Once they've had a belly full, it's time to relax. But sneaky Thelma takes the opportunity to hide one last stalk for a snack later in the day. It's been a couple of weeks since the monkeys from Borth Zoo in Wales came to the park. Capuchins Matty and Louis have been getting used to their new surroundings and their new carers. And the Primate care team have taken the opportunity to assess their characters and see how well they move around the enclosure. They're going to need to join one of the park's 5 Capuchin groups soon, so it's vital information.
Yeah, we have seen that their mobility isn't amazing. They do need to build their muscles up a little bit, and certainly we've seen them favouring the logs instead of the hosing, and we have got a lot more hosing outside than they're used to. But all of these things they're going to have to get used to. We've got them in all of our other enclosures, and over time they should get used to that. It's just all new and different.
But before the pair can move on, freeing up space for expected newcomer Dodger, they need a health check, and, as they're males, a vasectomy. Wildlife vet Nic Masters, along with the vet team, are getting ready to perform the procedures at the park's hospital.
We've got precious to no history, right?
None.
Okay.
The Primate care team have been preparing assiduously for today. They've been training Matty and Louis to walk into a section of tunnel, which can be sealed off in order to get them into a travel box. And this morning, the hard work pays off. Matty's straight into the crate without any fuss or stress and whisked off to the hospital. Once there, he's anaesthetised so Nic can get to work.
Always good to be patient and then have him up here on the table and intubate him so we can control the anaesthesia really well and then get on with the surgery.
Matty is weighed
3.6. Brilliant.
and given a microchip required by law.
OK.
After an all-over body check, Nic moves on to Matty's vasectomy. Today, the procedure is straightforward.
Sometimes it can be really hard to identify what the vas is and what other things are, so that's good news.
Finally, Nic takes a series of X-rays to check the monkey's bone density and look for any unforeseen conditions.
Looks all right, doesn't it? Does look all right. I think that's fine.
Overall, Nic is fairly happy with Matty's condition.
Good job. Thank you.
Matty is put into his box to recover, and next up is Louis, who's already arrived at the hospital. First impressions aren't good.
Definitely underweight.
Nic examines Louis more closely, and there's a big surprise for the team.
Does he have any testicles?
Nope. That's what I'm just looking at. Is he a boy?
It's a girl.
It might be. There's no testis and there's a bum. I think it's a girl. It's good we look before we try to find the vas deferens surgically.
Louis arrived from Borth Zoo described as male. But she's female. The revelation could affect which of the Capuchin groups the pair join. And it also means Louis doesn't need a vasectomy.
We're gonna carry on with the anaesthetic. We're gonna take some X-rays, take some bloods, gonna microchip all that. Yeah.
Nic continues with the health check, taking bloods and inserting a microchip before taking a number of X-rays.
They look good, I think. They're all good.
The X-rays don't reveal anything that could explain Louis being so underweight.
Is that all she is? 2 kilograms? Wow.
Or her lack of muscle tone.
You know, do you ever feel like that? That's her shoulder. You can feel everything. I mean, there's no deltoid, there's nothing at all, is there?
Nic is concerned.
She's very underweight. I always hesitate to say an animal's emaciated because that's kind of skeletal in my opinion. You know, we score them out of 9 now, so she's not a 1, but she's probably a 2 out of 9, so she's very under condition. And we were just, looking at things that you don't normally notice. So this is her shoulder, and everything's on show because there's no body fat at all. And not only is there no body fat, but there's very little muscle development. She just doesn't have it, so that's a bit concerning. It might be some underlying disease process that's causing her to sort of break protein down.
Until the test results come back, the team will give Louis an appropriate diet to try to increase her weight and general condition and build up her muscle tone. For now, the pair can return to their bedroom to recover from the anaesthetic under the watchful gaze of the primate care team. Matty and Louis weren't the only primates to arrive from Wales. They were accompanied by 2 Patas monkeys, Mr. Patas and Lady Penelope. Since their arrival, they've been living in rooms at the Guenon house, next door to the family of 4. The team are hoping all 6 will one day get on well enough to share the outside space. But for now, they're being kept apart. The Patas monkeys are huge and the Guenons feisty, so it remains to be seen how well they will mix. The Guenons enjoy a large tree-filled enclosure, which until now, the Patas have only seen from their house. Today, primate care staff member Nic and the team have decided they're going to be allowed out for the first time.
We're going to just give them the enclosure by themselves. We'll see how they react and hopefully be able to get them back in and start getting them used to coming in and out so that we can manage them into the future with the Gwenon family.
Animal Director Jeremy and Nic check the slides and fence line to make sure everything is secure. Monkeys and apes sometimes test an enclosure the first time they enter it. So Alison and Kat are also on hand to help make sure everything goes smoothly.
Can I have one of your nets, Kat?
It's an open-top enclosure, and there is always that concern that they just do the leap of faith, but the enclosures are all designed here to keep the primates in and to keep them safe, so we should be fine.
Food has been put in buckets outside to help tempt the Patas from the house, and will be used again to encourage them back in later.
They are very food motivated, these two, Mr. Patas and Penelope. So I'm hoping that, showing them that we've got some food inside will bring them back in, and then we can, manage them that way.
Mr. Patas checks for potential dangers before heading out to explore. Lady Penelope is much more wary. There's a lot to take in, including the morning song of a nearby pair of gibbons. Once out, she sticks close to Mr. Patas. Then she heads up a tree where she can see, but is partially hidden from view. In the wild, Patas monkeys spend much of their time on the ground feeding, moving into the trees at night for safety. Jeremy uses a high vantage point to keep an eye on her. Lower down, Mr. Patas spots his reflection in an aluminium panel bordering the enclosure. Fearing it's another male, he begins warning yawns, which show off his immense canine teeth to frighten off any intruder. As the dominant male, it's his role to protect his lady.
He's very defensive of her, and she's quite shy. He's not shy at all. They're a really nice, stable pair, but between the two of them, it's definitely her that wears the trousers.
Nic and the team are worried Mr. Patas is becoming too stressed and start to encourage them both back into the house.
We're going to do some work on that shiny bit of enclosure there, so it won't be a sort of reflective mirror, and hopefully that will be less stressful for him, so next time we let him out, he won't have that issue of thinking that there's another male threatening his territory.
There'll be more short trips outside to build their confidence, so the Patas pair can begin to enjoy the enclosure to the full. Next time on Monkey Life. Alison and Jeremy come up with a cunning plan to collect Dodger the Capuchin.
Now we need the box at the end of the tunnel here.
Yeah. And then
And
we'll
then
get him into the tunnel.
there and put the forks in. Don't you worry, we'll sort it.
And sunflowers for the squirrel monkeys. Today on Monkey Life, Alison and Jeremy come up with a cunning plan to collect Dodger the Capuchin.
Now we need the box at the end of the tunnel here.
Yeah. And then we'll get him into the tunnel.
there and put the forks in. Don't you worry, we'll sort it.
Vet Cesar is called in to stitch up woolly monkey Bueno Jr, who's been injured in a scuffle.
Might be a bit of muscle damage in there. I can see one muscle in there, but there's no harm done.
And sunflowers for the squirrel monkeys. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Everybody's well aware that they need to be looked after carefully. They should be okay.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. It's an early start for Alison and Jeremy as they set off on a 4-hour journey to Canterbury in Kent to meet a capuchin called Dodger and his recently widowed owner, Tracy. Dodger has lived with the family for more than 25 years. But since the death of her husband, who looked after him, Tracy has struggled with his care. Dodger's also been lacking companionship of his own kind for the last 5 years.
Yep, well then that's right.
If all goes to plan, Dodger will return to the park with Alison and Jeremy at the end of the day. In their absence, the team need to move recently arrived zoo capuchins, Matty and Louis, to the lodge to make space for Dodger in the marmoset domestic house.
Yeah, he's really grabby.
But neither is keen to go into a travel box. Eventually, Matty is coaxed in.
We'll be on our way with Matty if one of those rooms can be ready.
Yes, that's ready, thank you.
Now they just need to persuade the more cautious Louis to follow suit. In Kent, Alison and Jeremy have arrived at the home of Dodger and his owner, Tracy.
Such a beautiful place.
I know.
Tracy takes them to meet him in his outdoor enclosure.
Hey, mister!
Alison is already working out the best way to persuade Dodger out of his home and into a travel crate.
Is that a slide I see over the end of the tunnel? Does it work?
You can close it off, yeah.
And he can't open it?
Well, no, not if you hold it.
All right.
Jeremy inspects the slide while Alison takes a good look at Dodger, keen to see how he behaves in familiar surroundings.
Do you want me to open it up? Right. Okay, just close that behind you.
Dodge! Looks great.
Hello, hello, young man. Hello, how you doing?
Dodger is curious about the new faces, but a little wary. He heads into his house. Jeremy spots an opportunity.
Do you want to just pull that door across?
The slide at the end of the tunnel is shut, and the quick addition of a screw secures it, keeping Dodger inside.
I think the way to get him into the box is to somehow or other fasten the box against the sliding door on the outside, secure him in the tunnel. We can then coax him into the box from the tunnel. Now we need the box at the end of the tunnel here.
Yeah.
And then get him into there and put the forks
Put your
in.
forks like that.
Yeah. Have you got a step ladder?
I
At
have,
some
yes.
point, because
I'm
the
trying
forks are going to be best going down from the top.
Step ladder.
Because there's nothing for them to...
Okay.
Yeah, but don't you worry, we'll sort it.
With Dodger secure, Alison and Jeremy can sit down with Tracy to learn as much as possible about his likes and dislikes.
So he gets quite dominant over food.
Yes, definitely.
Back at the park, Katie and the Capuchin team are still trying to coax Louis out of the tunnels and into a travel crate, so they can prepare her old room for Dodger. A quick visit from Nic does the trick. She's soon reunited with Matty in their new rooms at the lodge.
Now that they've finally moved, we're going to be prepping the rooms so that when Dodger arrives, he can just go straight into his room and settle in.
Back in Canterbury, Jeremy is hoping that will be sooner rather than later. He secures Dodger's travel box to the enclosure end of the tunnel. Then he goes into the Capuchin's house, hoping his presence will be enough to send Dodger into the tunnel. Success! And one more sight of Jeremy sends him straight into the box.
I already thought we'd done this before.
Time to pack up and prepare for the journey ahead.
Can we get water for that? I think there's more upset on the part of Tracy, which is understandable. She's been with Dodger for more than 25 years, so it's a tough day for her, but she knows she's doing the right thing for him to try and get him companionship. So, are you settling down, young man? Will you take a grape from me? Here you go. We're eating grapes.
Jolly good.
If you want to sit for 1 second
Yeah.
with him, Jeremy and I will collect our bits.
I am going to come visit him for sure, definitely. I'm going to be upset.
Tracy and her husband looked after Dodger well. But now it's time for his care to be transferred to the team at the park and for a new life with companionship of his own kind.
Is he chatting to you yet?
No, he's not chatting. It's just eating quite a few nuts.
Okay. I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, I'd like to know what happens when he does join the group.
I promise you I will.
A final goodbye, and Alison, Jeremy and Dodger are ready to hit the road.
Yeah, you look after yourself.
It's a beautiful morning at the park, and at the Stumpy enclosure, the group of 8 stump-tailed macaques are outside enjoying the summer sun. It's a peaceful scene, with everyone either foraging or grooming a companion. It's now been 2 weeks since Sylvie was examined by the vet, after the care team became concerned she was losing too much weight. Much to their relief, she seems back to her usual self.
A couple of weeks later, you wouldn't know there was anything wrong with her. Still have no idea what it was that was causing her to lose a bit of weight and look a bit off. And yeah, she's bounced straight back from that, and you wouldn't even know today that there was anything wrong with her in the first place.
At nearly 24 years old, Sylvie is the youngest in the group, and she's a lot more sprightly than her older housemates. Aided by the weight loss, she's now even more agile than before, exploring places the others just can't reach.
Everybody else tends to rely on the platforms and the big posts and things to get around. Sylvie has taken to going up quite high in the trees. Seeing her up there, she's showing some really good flexibility, definitely more so than any of the other members of the group. And yeah, you wouldn't have any idea that just a couple of weeks ago we were quite concerned there might be something wrong.
Ever since the first of the Stumpies arrived at the park, having been rescued from research laboratories, the care team have had a constant battle getting them healthy and controlling their weight. To keep them active, the team regularly throw in a scatter feed of small healthy tidbits for them to find, encouraging the group to move and forage. Sylvie is usually first to the prize.
Everybody else is quite slow moving, but because she is a little bit younger, she's much better at getting from one end of the paddock to the other very quickly. So when you're sort of throwing the food out in the outside and you're trying to spread it far and wide, we often joke that Sylvie has clones of herself, because no matter what area of the paddock you're in, Sylvie happens to be there. She's just such a good strategist when it comes to being in the right places for the feeding. And her cheek pouches they're the things of legend. They are so ridiculously big when she crams so much food into them. So because of that, she's quite tricky to get weight off of. We obviously did have her losing some weight a little bit more rapidly than we would like, which is why we were so concerned about her. But right now, she actually looks really good and really flexible. She's really fast moving. So actually, we're pretty pleased with her now.
Each of the group needs to be closely monitored for individual reasons. For some, it's their age. Others have ongoing health problems. And, in Toto's case, it's because his lack of social skills can cause issues. But today, the Stumpies appear calm and relaxed, enjoying each other's company. After a 4-hour, 200-mile journey, Alison and Jeremy have arrived back at the park with a capuchin monkey they've rescued from a home in Kent.
We're home, Dodger.
Katie from the Capuchin team comes to greet them.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Everyone's keen to get Dodger settled in as soon as possible. He'll be living in a temporary bedroom, just vacated by another recently rescued pair of capuchins, Matty and Louis. Dodger doesn't waste any time abandoning his travel box.
Dodger's done really well, actually. You have to remember, he's 27 years old, so he's no spring chicken, and he's lived in only that one place his entire life. So this is just an overwhelming change. We've made the first turtle and he's here at the park, so that's really good and I'm really pleased for him. Shame that he didn't get to live with others sooner, but at least he's here now.
Dodger will have all the usual health checks, and once given the all clear, the Primate care team can decide which is the best group for him to join to live out the rest of his days. There's been a bit of a disagreement between the males at the top woolly monkey enclosure. It resulted in a bit of a scuffle, with poor Bueno Jr. getting on the wrong side of alpha male Levar and coming off worse. He sustained a nasty cut to his hand, and the primate care team are worried it might become infected.
Normally, we try to allow them just to heal on their own, but unfortunately in this instance, because Junior's been playing and fussing with that hand so much, he seems to have pulled some sort of flesh away from that finger. We're concerned about exposed bone, infection, so yeah, we just don't want to risk leaving it any longer, so we've decided to intervene.
Local vet Cesar Sastre has been called in to take a look, but before that, Junior needs to be anaesthetised. And it's not going to plan.
Hello, Sharon, did you call me? I was on the quad.
Yeah, we're not having much luck with Junior, getting him down to hand inject or getting him into the bedroom. So I don't know if you were able to come top woolies.
The team call in Jeremy for help. Like many of the primates at the park, Bueno Jr. has been trained to present parts of his body for inspection, but today he's not playing ball.
At the moment, he's not really coming over to us, so we might have to make a sort of a plan B if we're not going to be able to hand inject him.
There's only one alternative. Jeremy will have to use a blowpipe to administer the anaesthetic. Fortunately, he's adept at using it, and once Bueno Jr. has moved into a suitable position, Jeremy takes the shot. He's bang on target. The drug doesn't need long to take effect, and once the young woolly male is under, he's quickly moved into a travel crate and whisked off to the park's hospital. But by the time everything's ready to go, the anaesthetic has started to wear off. Cesar is well prepared. Junior is quickly masked, and within minutes, he's out cold.
I don't know why you're making a fuss now, sweetie. Come on, puppet, come on.
Once he's intubated, Cesar starts with an all-over inspection.
I'm gonna do a quick physical examination. And this guy's been a very healthy boy, yeah? Not a problem before. And he's eating and drinking well. He looks very healthy to me. He's pretty good.
The woolly male is in excellent condition, but the wound on his hand is not the only one. Cesar finds another on his right foot.
There's another wound here.
Junior has certainly been in the wars, but thankfully, the wound looks worse than it actually is.
That's all soft tissue, subcutaneous tissue. I don't think might be a bit of muscle damage in there. I can see one muscle in there, but there's no harm done here. The tendons are fine. After stitching up these, the function should regain to normal. Yeah.
The injury on his left hand is very similar.
I would be able to just put it back together.
Yeah.
Okay? And this one will need to be stitched up. It's sort of similar than the other one.
Once the wounds are clean, Cesar gets to work stitching them up.
Off we go. We're going to stitch up these.
Woolly monkeys are good at picking up wounds and stitches, and their hands and feet are very mobile. So Cesar uses a more durable suture and additional stitches. They'll be absorbed after 6 months, giving plenty of time for the muscle to heal.
That's great. Okay, so that muscle is stitched up.
A layer of sutures under the skin will hold the wound together, aided by an extra layer and some glue as an added precaution.
It has come together very nicely considering how damaged it was.
The whole procedure is then repeated on Junior's hand.
Right, so that looks nicer now. So we've got external stitches, we've got a bit of glue. That hopefully will do the job. That's nice. Yeah?
As he begins to come round, Junior is put into his travel box to recover.
Oh, bless, he's gonna have a bit of a headache.
Junior will receive a course of antibiotics and be monitored closely by the primate care team. Young and fit, he should heal quickly and be back to normal in no time. The warm weather has prompted care team member Kat to come up with an unusual breakfast for Gibbons, Paul and Kitty. She's hoping the pair will enjoy the combination of a fun and cooling fruity treat.
We got a bit of a donation with some squeaky pineapple toys. So we've just made some strings with some frozen pineapple rings and some fruit ice lollies. One of the things everybody knows about Paul is that he absolutely loves squeaky toys. Normally he has them loose and he just plays with them, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what he makes of them being up on the ropes here. Kitty loves her food, so I'd imagine it will keep both of them quite busy, and it'd just be nice on this really hot morning to come out to some nice frozen ice lollies.
La Gibbon Kitty is first out, but the feel of the frozen pineapple slice isn't to her liking, and she heads off to find something else. Agile Gibbon Paul is not far behind.
These two are quite an unusual couple, obviously being different species from each other. They're not properly pair bonded like some of our other guys, and they tend to be a little bit more independent of each other. Kitty is the more dominant over food. She likes her food quite a lot. Paul should get his fair share if he wants it though. We've got two ropes up, so they are nicely distanced away from each other, that she shouldn't be able to dominate the food completely. They're not really keen on getting their hands sticky though, so it could be interesting seeing how they work out how to actually get the treats without getting their hands all cold and sticky as well. Their grip and the way that they move brachiating is really important, that their hands stay nice and clean and they don't slip on branches and things like that, so I think that's part of it.
But Paul is hungry for his breakfast and, after a bit of consideration, tucks in. The sun has started to melt everything, making it easier for Kitty. She bites off a chunk from the top of a pineapple. Fruit is limited in the diets of most primates at the park due to the high sugar content, so this is a special treat. Paul has opted for food over fun this morning and is ignoring the squeaky toys for now and relishing a pineapple slice.
Kitty's a little bit more reserved in her behaviour than our Paul. She's also more talkative, as you can hear right now. She does like to try and talk over the top of us quite a lot. She's usually pretty successful because she's pretty loud. So that's just basically a territorial behaviour that you see with all gibbons when they feel that their territory is a little bit threatened. With Kitty being hand-reared, she does seem to focus very much on her primate care staff, and the longer she's known us, the more likely it is that she's going to sing whilst we're talking.
Eventually, Kitty can't resist the lollies and carefully picks out the sweet fruit, while Paul makes the most of his head start, moving on to treat number 2. At the squirrel monkey enclosure, Charlie from the primate care team has a different kind of sunny offering for the troop of 5. Bright scented sunflowers, still covered in pollen and full of seeds.
It's basically for enrichment, so they don't get them very often. It's quite novel for them. So basically, they're very inquisitive little monkeys, so anything new in their enclosure they will investigate. They can eat them, they're completely edible for them, they're harmless. If they want to have a munch on them, great. If they just want to destroy them, that's also fine.
The squirrel monkeys are let out. They have good eyesight and colour vision, so can't miss the big yellow flowers that have appeared in their enclosure. But they're a little wary. Youngster Lopez is first to investigate. He tests out both the flower heads and stalks, but doesn't taste. Lucille takes a more delicate approach, gently pulling at a sunflower head so she can smell it before tentatively tasting. Logan, not the most confident of the group, ignores the flowers, opting for apple slices put out by the care team for breakfast. The squirrel monkeys are an active group, constantly on the go. But elderly female Turvey has been struggling to keep up. The years are catching up with her.
We did notice a little bit of a change in her behaviour, a little bit wobblier, kind of clenching her little toes, not moving around quite as easily, looking a little bit, just a bit tatty and old. So we've kind of switched her up to a different pain medication now, and it's kind of just really turned her around. She's much sharper, much more on it, foraging around, holding her own against the other ones again. So, yeah, it's just kind of managing that end of day care, making sure she gets the most out of life for as long as possible.
The squirrel monkey's diet consists mainly of fruit and insects. At this time of year, the enclosure is a natural haven, attracting all sorts of bugs, which the troop love to hunt.
By putting these flowers in, some of the local kind of insects will kind of land on them, and our squirrel monkeys are very good hunters, so they will pick those insects up very quickly. And the enclosure was originally planted to encourage insects to come into the enclosure so they could kind of hunt for themselves. So although we do supplement their diet, you can't beat them doing it themselves.
Logan shows off his hunting skills, making the most of the natural bounty in the densely planted enclosure. Squirrel monkeys are naturally inquisitive, and today, while insects may be more appealing, the sunflowers have definitely piqued their interest. They've used their senses of sight and smell to thoroughly investigate them, keeping them busy and interested, just as the primate care team had hoped. Next time on Monkey Life. Tears as the team say goodbye to one of the park's original chimps.
It's really sad, but it's part of the job. What just happened in there is probably one of the most important things that we can do.
And Capuchin Joanne solves a sandy problem. Today on Monkey Life. Tears as the team say goodbye to one of the park's original chimps.
It's really sad, but it's part of the job. What just happened in there is probably one of the most important things that we can do.
Cat tries to solve a golden cheat Gibbon grooming mystery by capturing it on film.
Just put a few different cameras around and see if we can maybe get some of that, because it's really frustrating not being able to see it from myself.
And Capuchin Joanne solves a sandy problem. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
She's alert, looking around. Quiet though, which is nice. All good.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. Life has been difficult for everyone at Monkey World recently, and now the chimp team have an additional worry. Jimmy, one of the park's original 9 chimps, isn't well. Staff have been monitoring him closely after noticing he wasn't engaging with them or the other chimps and was lethargic. He's also developed a nasty cough and has a swollen abdomen. The team's concern is growing.
He's been up and down for a fair while now. We're not really sure what the cause has been. There has been a lot of tension in the bachelor group, so part of it could be we could have put it down to like social issues, and he's just wanted to keep himself quiet and away from all the drama of the group because he's a very sensible man like that. At one point he did look to have a bit of a chipped tooth, so we wondered whether it would be a dental issue, and maybe he was a bit quiet because his teeth were causing him a bit of problem. And we've been backwards and forwards like this for a while, and now it's apparent that it might be something a bit more serious, so we're getting him down sort of as soon as we possibly can just to have a look and try and find out what we can do to help him.
Local vet Dave Harding has been asked to take a look at Jimmy. He's one of the park's more elderly chimps and thought to be nearly 40 years old. Alison is philosophical about what lies ahead.
It's just awful, but it's what we need to be prepared for going forward. Some of our older chimpanzees have now been here more than 30 years, and considering that they came in as sort of, you know, a few years old, that's making them pretty old, and when their backgrounds are as ropey as they are, you know, we're extremely concerned for Jimmy, and I'm not sure what today's gonna bring.
The scenario feels horribly familiar. The park recently lost Zoe, another of the original chimps, in similar circumstances. Everyone is hoping today won't have the same outcome. Jimmy isn't the most cooperative of chimps, and it's a struggle to get him to take the anaesthetic by hand injection. But eventually, Kate succeeds. He's immediately whisked off to the park's hospital, where Dave and the vet team are standing by. First, he's weighed.
50.9 minus 2.3.
Before being placed on the table where Dave can have his first good look at the chimp. Initial impressions aren't good.
There's something quite lumpy there by the feel. Yeah, okay, let's clip that.
Dave needs to shave Jimmy's abdomen to perform an ultrasound.
Oh, that's a funny-shaped belly. Come on, Jimmy.
This will give the clearest indication of anything untoward inside the chimp's body. Immediately, Dave's suspicions are confirmed.
Yeah, so this is the vena cava, which are both very, very prominent going into the heart here, but we've got pleural fluid in the chest cavity, and we've also got abdominal fluid as well. I can't see any growths per se on the liver. It's just a very, very swollen, massive liver. It's all liver there.
And you're suggesting heart failure would do that?
Quite possibly, yeah.
It's a blow for the team. Dave checks Jimmy's heart from a different angle.
So it certainly looks like this heart's enlarged, particularly the right side of the heart, which was the side that would be failing if we've got all this fluid. I mean, it doesn't look like it's contracting very well, that heart, at all. And the lining of the heart actually looks quite irregular here as well. You see?
So fibrosing cardiomyopathy, that is.
Yeah.
The elderly chimp's condition is extremely serious. He has a major heart problem, which, in theory, could be treated with medication.
We could put him onto the diuretics
today. I think so.
I'm not sure how easy it would be to get the diuretic.
Chimp team leader Hannah is concerned persuading Jimmy to take the medication would be problematic.
There's something to treat, but it's whether it's going to do anything.
It's a punt, but I reckon it's less likely than likely.
The team have to make a very tough decision, whether to attempt to treat Jimmy with medication or let him go peacefully.
What I'd say to you, if he were 15 as opposed to 40, then I would go for it.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's 40 years old. He's been through the war. We know he doesn't like being messed with. Jeremy?
No, I can't see any point in. I totally agree with ending it.
I think we're probably all agreed that it's really better to put him to sleep.
The decision is made and hits the team hard.
All right.
They knew this moment would come.
All right. Sorry, everybody. He won't suffer.
But now it has. They're overcome with emotion.
I sort of suspected everything that actually came to be. Doesn't make me feel any better about it. It's really sad. But it's part of the job. What just happened in there is probably one of the most important things that we can do. It's all very nice, making their lives nice and good, but the final thing you can do for a person is be there for them in the end and make sure that they're calm, happy, not suffering. And so I think we made the right decision for Jimmy today. Never makes it any easier.
Jimmy arrived at the park in 1987, along with 8 other chimps, all rescued from the beaches of Spain. For many years, he was Paddy's second in command. But after falling out with the females, he moved to the Bachelors, where he's been for over 15 years. A gentle and kind chimp who looked out for others, he will be greatly missed.
He's just a stunning chimp, just like very, very refined features, just very heavy set. He always looks very stern, which is why it would throw you when he'd all of a sudden come up to you and start jiggling around and want to play with you, but would maintain that very stern expression, and you were never too sure, are you actually playing or is there something in your ear? But yeah, when he eventually let himself go, it was always delightful to see Jimmy just as silly as some of the rest of them.
He was just a unique character, the same as they all are. No, I don't think I don't think he'd ever been particularly ambitious. He's wanting the things that grown-up people want more than youngsters. You would categorise him as a, teenage pest, possibly.
Jimmy will be missed by the chimps and by all of us as well.
Good relationships between the primates at the park are vitally important, creating harmony within the larger groups and establishing close bonds between pairs that can last for years. One such couple are golden-cheeked gibbons Peanut and Pung Yo. They've been together for more than 15 years and have successfully raised 3 children. Today, primate care member Cat is going through their morning routine before releasing them into their large, forested outdoor enclosure.
Hey, babes. Here you go. Good girl. So we're down at the support building this morning and we're just starting the release process with Peanut and Pung Yo. So this is Peanut here and we've just separated Peanut off from Pung Yo so that she can have her high value rewards first thing in the morning, and then Pung Yo can have his in peace as well. It just keeps them happy while we're out doing the fence checks, where they've got their nice treats and rewards, and then when we come back we can let them straight out to breakfast.
Peanut is the dominant one of the pair and loves her food.
Right, Pung Yo, your turn, buddy.
To make sure her partner Pung Yo gets his fair share, the couple are kept apart for the first meal of the day.
Good job.
Pung Yo needs extra high-calorie foods to maintain his body weight, unlike his partner.
He thinks it's a wonderful treat, he really enjoys it, and he gets peace to eat that because Peanut doesn't get one, because Peanut does not need high-calorie extras because she's quite a chunk.
While the 2 gibbons finish off the early morning snacks, Cat prepares their outside enclosure, putting their main breakfast into the high feeders. Then they're both let out.
Come on then. Good girl. Hey, Pung Yo, good boy. You were speedy this morning. Go on then.
While they enjoy breakfast, Cat can get on with cleaning the bedroom and playroom. But there's a mystery that's been niggling Cat and the rest of the gibbon team for the last few months. Peanut has patches of fur missing on her body that look suspiciously like she's being over-groomed. The team aren't concerned because she's not showing any sign of skin irritation. But it's a bit confusing because the staff rarely witness the pair grooming.
Both Peanut and Pung Yo are taken away from their mums at very early ages and then hand-reared by humans. So they're quite human-focused. And they're very focused, obviously, on their primate care staff. 1, because obviously the relationship they have with us, and 2, whenever we're around, something's happening, whether it's time to go out or food's coming or whatever. So it tends to stop their normal behaviour. So quite often, if I'm cleaning the playroom, if I just glance out the window, I can see Peanut and Pung Yo often grooming or playing in this part of the tunnel. But if they see me looking, they will stop instantly. So what I want to try and do is just capture that on film this morning. Just put a few different cameras around and see if we can maybe get some of that.
Cat sets up a number of small cameras, hoping to catch Pung Yo enthusiastically grooming his partner. But later, when she reviews the footage, it's not what she was expecting to see.
What we found is pretty much all of the footage shows Peanut grooming Pung Yo. And it's actually quite funny watching her because she's like really quite forceful. She's very much in control. Pung Yo doesn't really get a choice as to whether he wants to be groomed or not. It's just happening. But it's actually really nice to know that that is happening for Pung Yo. We did start to think that it was happening. We keep getting little glimpses, but it stops very quickly. So it's really nice to see that Peanut is paying him some really nice attention and taking care of him and doing these things. It would have just been really good for us to actually see the footage the other way around as well and know what's going on as to whether it is him causing these bald patches on her.
It's only when Cat heads off to the Siamang enclosure that cameras capture the moment. Pung Yo is indeed grooming Peanut when no one else is around and is pulling out some of the longer hairs. Mystery solved. It's been 24 hours since woolly monkey Bueno Jr. had an emergency visit from the vet to stitch up some nasty wounds. They were the result of a fight with alpha male Levar. After a night recovering, he's still subdued. He had a couple of friends for company, plus a small amount of pain relief. The care team were concerned too much medication would result in him interfering with his stitches. This morning, he just wants some peace and quiet. Even a concerned Olivia can't seem to rouse him. She gives him a gentle prod and leans across in greeting. Her half-sister Layla joins them. But Junior isn't interested. Sharon from the Primate care team is keeping a close eye on things.
There's a very, very good chance, because there are some stitches on his foot and hand. There's a very good chance that some of those are going to be played with, pulled out even. So it's very difficult to sort of stitch up animals like monkeys because they are very inquisitive and they always pick and play, and one of their natural behaviours is grooming, and that means removing anything that shouldn't be there, so whether that's scabs, parasites, stitches. So a very good chance that, yeah, that they're going to be played with and fussed with, but the vet's done a very good job of sort of stitching up internally and externally, so pretty sure that even if they do manage to pull out a couple of stitches, it shouldn't really alter the healing process too much.
Junior has access to the smaller outside enclosure, where the rest of the group are relaxing and eating, but this morning it holds no appeal. Sharon encourages him to come to the mesh so she can check the wounds. She tempts him with some grapes and a drink so he'll stay hydrated. But Junior won't budge.
I would say Junior's probably our worst patient. Majority of our animals are quite happy to come over and show us hands, feet, arms, turn around. We can do a general sort of physical examination without having to be too invasive, and they actually see it as a bit of a fun game and a training exercise. Junior does quite enjoy those training exercises as well, unless he's actually injured, and then he seems to really withdraw from the primate care staff. He's extremely suspicious of us, so we just need to just kind of keep a little bit more of a distance and just keep an eye on anything that he's doing.
Eventually, Levar and the rest of the group come back inside. Junior is careful not to antagonise the ageing dominant male. Instead, he heads to the ground in search of food. Eating is a good sign and means he's probably on the mend. And once he's made it up with Levar, life will be better all round. A few months ago, the Capuchin team trialled an experiment with Franco's group to see if any of them would display a natural behaviour seen in the wild. Food washing. The result wasn't conclusive, so today they're having another go. This time with Winslow's troop, and a slightly modified version.
With Franco's, we put their pellets in their clay in the soil, and they did kind of put it in the water, but that's a behaviour that they kind of do anyway, because they quite like to dip their pellet in water, like dipping your biscuits in a drink. So it just makes it mushy, and they quite like to eat it that way. So this will kind of be a bit of a better test, just to see if they are doing it to wash their food or just to dip their biscuits in the water, really.
Keen to test the theory, Katie has prepared a juicy breakfast of sticky strawberries and mushy avocado, which she's hiding in sand-filled tubs and placing close to the pond. For the capuchins, they're high-value food items, and if they don't like the sand, they're going to have to come up with a way of getting rid of it. This troop includes some of the older capuchins at the park, but you'd never know it as they excitedly make a beeline for the sand-filled food trays. After some initial hesitation, they begin foraging in the sand, picking out the gritty fruit. Daisy isn't bothered by the unusual texture of her avocado. Strawberries and sand aren't a typical summer combination, but Esther tucks in. Molly heads across to the pond, but only for a drink. The majority of the group haven't taken into account the availability of the pond, just perfect for food washing. Pippa bypasses it altogether and heads high up on the cargo net to eat her fruit in peace. Onslow is a little more fussy, but rather than washing his fruit, he rubs off the sand before he eats it. Winslow is one of the last out. He's an effective leader, but when it comes to food, he doesn't tend to overexert himself.
He's a very good dominant male, so he's very kind of smart socially. He's very good with training, but in terms of like these kind of behaviours, putting all the effort into foraging for his food, probably not so much.
Capuchins are incredibly bright monkeys. They're problem solvers, often demonstrating forethought and planning to achieve their goal. Most of this group were wild caught. Babe is the only pet trade individual amongst them. The team were hoping some of them may have seen and learned the concept of food washing in their early years, but so far, there's no evidence of it.
Yeah, we've got some of our older capuchins will have been wild caught. So we've got a little subgroup of older ladies called Molly's Gang, and they do like to hang around this area quite a bit, so we might see them using these sand pits. They are quite a bit lower ranking than the other monkeys in the group, so they'll probably kind of come and get involved a little bit later on. But we've got other monkeys like Debbie. She's definitely one who's really quick to pick up those behaviours. So yeah, we'll just wait and see.
But it's Joanne who proves the exception. She examines a sand-covered treat, then heads straight to the pond to wash it off. It's a repeat behaviour, not a one-off. She performs the task again and again. It's just what the team were hoping for. It's been an interesting recap of the experiment. As some members of the group worked out various methods to solve the issue of the sand-covered food, and others ignored it, putting up with the gritty texture despite the solution close by. What the team will never know is whether clever Joanne learned the technique as a youngster in the wild or worked it out for herself. Next time on Monkey Life. Big news as legislation banning the sale and trade of primates in England is announced at the park.
Thanks to this amazing place and this amazing person, we're going to bring an end to one of the grimmest trades in the UK.
And woolly monkey Leroy shows he's growing up fast. Today on Monkey Life. Big news as legislation banning the sale and trade of primates in England is announced at the park.
Thanks to this amazing place and this amazing person, we're going to bring an end to one of the grimmest trades in the UK.
Alison is delighted.
We're moving ahead with changing the laws, so hallelujah. Today's the day.
And woolly monkey Leroy shows he's growing up fast. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I'm shocked. This animal is living in fear of its life at all times.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. It's a momentous day for Alison and all those who've lobbied tirelessly for a change to the laws governing the legal primate pet trade in England. After years of campaigning, a new bill has been introduced to Parliament by the current government. The Kept Animals Bill proposes a ban on the breeding of primates as pets and the introduction of a primate licence for those animals already being kept. Animal Welfare Minister Lord Goldsmith is visiting Monkey World to announce it.
Thanks to this amazing place and this amazing person, we're going to bring an end to one of the grimmest trades in the UK.
Yeah, so on behalf of Betty Boo and all of the other marmosets out there, we're just hoping to protect them and care for them in a proper way. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Lord Goldsmith has worked alongside Alison for the last few years in an effort to get the law changed.
It's been pretty obvious to me for a long time that this trade needs to be ended. And I'm in a position now where, working with colleagues in government, I can help get that done. But the campaign is Alison's and Monkey World's. I mean, this is it's long overdue. We don't know how many primates there are languishing in budgie cages on people's TVs around the country, but we know there are a lot. And it's a life not worth living. For anyone who knows anything about primates, you don't need to be an expert to know that it is just completely wrong to keep primates in those conditions. So we can do something about that, and we are doing something about that.
For Alison, it's an emotional day. The announcement is the culmination of years of hard work she started with her late husband, Jim Cronin.
This is everything coming together after 3 decades for us. We've been campaigning, we've rescued more than 120 primates from the British pet trade. We've been doing everything we can to look after and rescue those animals, but also to get something done to stop it continuing. And we're moving ahead with changing the laws, so hallelujah. Today's the day.
They were rescued, Mum and Dad?
Yes.
From the pet trade?
Yes.
What sort are they?
These are common marmosets. Actually, they're hybrids. Mom is a black-eared marmoset, and so the kids are half common, half black-eared.
Ruby, Oscar, and their 4 offspring are just one example of the large number of primates rescued over the years by Alison and her team at Monkey World. Many from horrendous conditions.
You guys are eating machines.
No one knows how many kept primates there are currently in England, but it could be in the thousands. Once the bill is passed, owners will have to register the primate in their charge, and then meet the standards laid out in the bill to obtain a primate licence.
Indoor-outdoor enclosures, companionship of your own kind, appropriate veterinary care, appropriate nutrition. All of those very basic things have to be provided if you're to keep these animals. So, in effect, we're demanding that only specialist keepers who do the right thing are allowed to keep them. And that's how it's going to begin. And hopefully, banning the financial trade in these animals will mean that there's no longer marmosets being sold in pet shops, in bird cages, on social media, over the internet. All of that should come to an end forthwith.
The bill will have a number of steps to go through before it becomes law.
The outcome we want is that the trade ends in the UK, that you don't find people keeping primates in miserable conditions. So we want to rehome existing pets or improve the conditions to such an extent that they're basically zoo quality. And those that can't be, we want them to be rehomed.
For all the primates already in the pet trade in England, there's hope of a better life to come.
For us here at Monkey World, the only thing we're interested in is that these animals that are kept, in whatever circumstance it might be, are kept correctly and appropriately, and that their needs are met.
While the new law is long overdue, it may cause some issues when it first comes into force. Primates belonging to owners who can't meet the conditions will need rehoming, and space at the park for new arrivals is limited, particularly for marmosets. To deal with this, in the past, Monkey World has rehabilitated individuals before rehoming them at other licensed wildlife centres, where they can be looked after in appropriate conditions. One such marmoset was Rattler, who Alison rescued nearly 10 years ago. A victim of the pet trade, he was being kept in appalling conditions at a flat in Plymouth.
They have to walk through their urine and feces to get to their food.
He was rehabilitated at the park before being rehomed at an agricultural college, Capel Manor in North London. At the time, the collaboration freed up space at Monkey World for more rescued marmosets. But a few weeks ago, Rattler returned.
Hey, Rattler, man.
Sadly, the female that he was paired with, she's passed away. Rattler's on his own. They're concerned for him, so they got back in touch and said, is there anything you can do? Can you take Rattler back? And of course, our commitment's always to those animals that we rescue.
The timing was fortuitous for Rattler and a recent Monkey World arrival. Maggie, one part of the family known as the Simpsons, had been ousted by her mum, Marge, who had recently given birth to twins. Suddenly on her own, Maggie needed a partner. Cue Rattler.
Yeah, really nice to see him again. He looks good. He looks in good condition. So as soon as we know that he's got a full, clean bill of health, then we'll introduce him to Maggie, and that should just help him no end. And it'll also help Maggie as well. These guys should be on their own.
The plan worked out well. Rattler passed his health checks and, within weeks, formed a loving bond with Maggie. And on the other side of the park, the rest of the Simpson family are doing well too.
Even though, ideally we don't want babies here because we want space for rescues, when we do have a family like this come in, it's lovely to see how it should be. And this is exactly how marmoset social grouping should be. You should have a mum and a dad. You should have the dad doing all the carrying and the caring, the mum doing all the feeding. And seeing that natural family unit, it just kind of hammers home how much some of the others have lost.
Today, the family are in for a puzzling and prickly treat. A breakfast of blueberries has been hidden in straw stuffed inside cardboard tubes and suspended from branches around their enclosure. They've also been given a seasonal treat, rose hips still with thorns attached. It's something the two infants have never seen before, and it's quite possible their parents haven't experienced it either. Mum and Dad are first into the enclosure, keen to check out what's new. The babies hang back in the tunnel, a little wary at first. It doesn't take long for Marge and Bart to work out there's food hidden in the cardboard tubes. Bart certainly has a taste for blueberries. While Marge kicks off her meal with a succulent bright red rosehip. Watching Mum and Dad tuck in reassures the infants, who make their way outside. They're now just over 6 months old, and the primate care team have established they're both boys. They've named them Ralph and Nelson. The twins are a lively pair, and keen to learn.
They learn a lot from mum and dad. So any new feeds that we put in, mum and dad will show the youngsters by eating it themselves that it's something good and that they can come over and have some food. So somebody like the Simpsons, that've got the two youngsters who've got that natural setting, their parents are a really good way to teach them and to help them understand sort of how to go about being a marmoset.
It helps when you have a doting dad like Bart.
It's been really nice to see how naturally he's taken to the role of fatherhood, and it really kind of shows how much of that is just naturally ingrained in them, that need to look after the young and help rear them and have that sort of protective nature when it comes to having youngsters.
It goes to show that given the right care and attention, along with wonderful natural surroundings, these small primates thrive, no matter what their background. It's been all systems go for the park's Capuchin team recently. In the last few weeks, they've had 3 new arrivals. First, Alison rescued Matty and Louis from Borth Zoo in Wales. Then came Dodger, a male capuchin in need of companionship of his own kind, who came from a home in Kent. All 3 have begun to become familiar with their new surroundings, and it's now time for them to meet potential housemates.
So introductions in any group can be quite stressful, particularly for the animals that are involved and also the rest of the group that are potentially shut away in a different area. So we like to try and keep things really low key, so we have absolutely minimal staff and people in the house, enough that we can keep an eye. Try and keep it nice and calm. Initially, those introductions won't be on public view, and then we can introduce gradually all of those things as time goes on and things are starting to improve.
Since arriving, Dodger has been kept apart from the park's established capuchin groups while the team monitored him and allowed him to settle. During that time, he's had a health check and a vasectomy. Now he's been given the all-clear to move to a capuchin group. The park has 5, each different in size and demographic. Dodger is 27 years old, and because of that, the team have decided his best option is to join Gizmo's small group of 6. First, he needs to be boxed up for the move.
Good boy, well done. You're so good. Dodger came into the crate really easily. The training that we've done really paid off, so yeah, that's really good.
Dodger is taken across to Gizmo's house, where Donna gives him time to explore the bedrooms before letting Gizmo into one opposite, giving the team the opportunity to gauge their reaction to each other.
So Gizmo can be a little bit unpredictable. He is from the pet trade and he's got a few issues going on in his head. So he does struggle socially, and also his communication skills are a little bit different to a lot of the other capuchins that we have.
With both animals calm, Donna decides to go for it and opens the slides to let the 2 meet face to face. The introduction couldn't go any better. Although Dodger's a little wary at first, the 2 males soon relax and appear comfortable in each other's company.
Gizmo was an absolute superstar. He had his play face on right from the beginning, and he was just generally interested to make friends, really. Dodger also was super chilled out, really confident, and they were both straight away happy to pass each other in the small tunnel section. And hopefully we'll see a bit more of that. They did a lot of onion rubbing together as well, and they were quite happy foraging around. So really it went as well as we could have hoped for.
In fact, the meeting has gone so well, Donna decides to move to the next level and let the pair have access to the outside enclosure together. Gizmo doesn't hang around. He's straight outside on the hunt for food. But there's no sign of Dodger.
Dodger! You coming outside?
He's still indoors, unsure how to get through the flap. Donna does some quick modifications.
Let's try that. Come on, Dodger! He's a good boy.
With encouragement from Gizmo, Dodger works out how to access the outside enclosure and sets off to explore. Gizmo's relaxed attitude to his new housemate helps reassure him. At his previous home, Dodger enjoyed outdoor space, and today, with plenty of room, he looks as if he's been at the park for years. But it might be a bit different when he gets to meet the 5 feisty ladies who make up the rest of this group.
We just need to consider when the right time to introduce them might be. So for now, we just want to try and keep it simple, just keep the 2 boys together, try and build up that relationship before we introduce the females, and all the dynamics will probably change. So we just want to give them a nice bit of space and, yeah, let them enjoy the outside enclosure in the nice weather.
While everything is progressing nicely with Gizmo and Dodger, the park's other 2 recent arrivals are also getting to know new housemates. Matty and Louis are settling into life at Eriko's lodge. It's a bigger troop of 13, and so far they've met a couple of the more calm members, including Scarlett and Zoe. With so many individuals to meet, it's a slower process for the Borth twosome. But the team are positive all 3 new capuchins will settle well and establish themselves as part of the Monkey World family. In the kitchen at the Top Woolly house, Primate care member Sharon is preparing a breakfast smorgasbord for Levar's family group of woolly monkeys. She's stuffed hanging baskets with straw and hidden nuts, seeds and raspberries inside. And now she's filling logs specially designed with the group in mind.
So we've just simply drilled a few holes around there, and I've made a nice little pulp with some blueberries and some baby food, and we're just going to pop that mush into the holes, hang these up throughout the trees, and again just to encourage these guys to get up off the floor and feed in a more natural way, so they're going to be up and enjoying this, and it'll probably keep them busy for most of the morning. So yeah, quite excited to see how they react to these today.
Sharon hangs the feeders all around the enclosure in hard-to-reach places. She wants the troop to work hard for their breakfast this morning. Woolly monkeys are arboreal, meaning they spend most of their time in the tree canopy. Levar's troops certainly make the most of their fabulous tree-filled enclosure. Olivia heads straight for a hanging basket and wastes no time rooting through the straw, using her tail as an anchor. At 5 years old, she's still incredibly close to her mum Zingu. But she's reaching adulthood and could well have a family of her own in the near future. Zingu's youngest infant is Leroy. Just a year old, he's already developing into a special little monkey.
The confidence in him, we've never really seen it in any of our youngsters at this age, even from 6 months on. He's been quite an independent little chap. He's quite happy to wander off from hang out with the big guys. Yeah, and he's incredibly agile for his age. He's quite an incredible little character already.
There have been some ups and downs for the group in recent months. Tragedy struck when Zingu's daughter Layla passed away suddenly after a short illness. But the group has remained stable under the leadership of Levar, who's been an alpha male for 20 years. However, the 2 younger males, Cosmo and Bueno Jr, are approaching adulthood, and things might be about to change.
It may be that Levar, now his grand old age of 31, is feeling slightly threatened that there's these 2 young chaps who are also very close, might want a bit of a takeover. So it's something that we're keeping a very close eye on. And yeah, at the moment we're really hoping that they can just kind of figure things out amongst themselves a little bit while we're sort of watching how Levar's getting on, that he's not compromised in any way as an older boy.
Bueno Jr has recovered well from nasty hand and foot injuries he sustained a few months ago. His strength and agility have been unaffected. But the team are even more delighted with Cosmo. He had a major health scare last year when he lost a lot of muscle tone and weight. Fast forward to today, and Cosmo is thriving.
incredibly looking boy. He's still only just over 4 years old, but yeah, he's just looking absolutely amazing, finding his feet within the group, loving spending time with the big boys, him, Levar and Junior. They've all got quite sort of strong relationships. His sort of attitude's beginning to change, so he's starting to sort of discover how to interact with the ladies as well. So yeah, we're seeing him showing a bit of interest in some of the females and just kind of testing the water, throwing his weight around a little bit. So yeah, he's going through all the normal developments that we would hope to see a male at this age. And this time last year, we really weren't sure we would ever get there with him. So yeah, we're just absolutely thrilled.
And Cosmo still finds time for a play session with little Leroy. Levar's troop are a tight-knit family group, and the team are hoping it stays that way for years to come. The continuing COVID pandemic has made for a challenging time, but Alison and the team have battled through, continuing to care for the primates in their charge. Along the way, there have been some emotional losses, not least world-renowned wildlife vet John Lewis, an integral part of the park for 30 years. The team also said goodbye to 2 of the park's original chimps, Zoe and Jimmy.
I think we made the right decision for Jimmy today. It's really sad.
But the work goes on. This year, with the rescue of 3 capuchins, 2 Patas monkeys, a Jeffroy's marmoset, and 6 common marmosets. And there's more to come, as Alison responds to calls for help for yet another marmoset.
Nice one, little one, huh?
As well as a red-bellied tamarin.
Hey, sweetheart. How you doing?
And with the opening up of international borders and no let-up yet in the British pet trade, who knows how many more next year could bring.